So it's now fall. We bought this at the very end of summer, so we've had this property for a couple months. I wanted to show you around, show you what we've been up to and what more we've got to go. I haven't got to the front door just yet. Did take off the screen door that was here. I do need to come in and fill some gaps, paint this up, but I'm liking it without the screen door, definitely. Got that deadbolt on that I was talking about. Okay. I did have to go for a double-sided deadbolt because I don't trust that this window is nice and secure. Okay, so one of the very first things we did, one of the first things Renee insisted on was changing out this light. So we've got this light in here. I quite like the looks of it. Definitely brightens up the space. We painted this room. You may recall it was a sort of green colour, so we wanted to brighten it up. We've got very dark trim. We've also got this dark built-in, so we wanted to lighten up the rest of it so it didn't feel like a small space. We have decided that the floors are going to get replaced. We're still deciding on what kind of flooring to do, but we have at least made that decision. We're not going to try salvage the floors at all. We painted in here. It was a light colour in here. We just repainted it, touched it up, made sure, cleaned up all the cobwebs and things that were on it in the process, which was a useful thing to do. Fireplace, well, we've got some bad news on that, unfortunately. It's currently in a do not burn status. We had it cleaned out, we had the chimney swept, and there was multiple faults on it that meant that it wasn't safe to burn wood. So we're going to have someone come in and take a look at that at some point. Probably not this season, actually definitely not this season, but we'll get that up and work and I'll give you an update on that. In terms of the fireplace here, we're kind of, just deciding what we're going to do, what looks good there. We haven't quite come up with that decision just yet. Probably do the floors first, that way it would be easier to match the height too. Rather than doing it and hoping that the flooring match the height, we can just set the mortar at the right height. You may recall this was kind of a green colour, kind of a bluey green colour. We've changed the light in here just to make it a little bit brighter and continue the theme of the brass there. We got, obviously, last time we spoke, we got the electrical updated, so we got some new switches around and all that knob and tube pulled out. This room, you may recall, was yellow and had some paint flaking off it. Just not very appealing at all. So we painted this. This is the same colour as the dining room, I believe. There are a couple different shades of white going on there. I can't see a difference, but my wife swears there's a difference. So I'll believe her. We've gone with some curtains to the ceiling there, partly for aesthetics, partly to deaden the road noise. We still don't have a window here. We will be getting a window very shortly, but as of right now we don't. So the road noise, I work here, so the road noise is kind of annoying. We've got a triple glazed window coming though, so that should be much better. Okay, in terms of the bathroom, we've had everything updated. In terms of plumbing, you can see we've got some new PEX down there, so nothing leaks anymore, which is nice. We have had the electrical updated. We do need to update these lights, they're flickering. I think that's the actual light itself, not the current going to it. We painted in here, but only loosely, it's just primed, it's not painted. We just wanted to brighten it up, but there's more that's going to happen here at some point, so we haven't gone to the finishing stages on that bathroom just yet. No real change at all, actually. In terms of living with a clawfoot tub, it's fine. Showering can feel a little claustrophobic. We did find that some magnetic clips to hold the shower curtain away from you is quite a good idea, and it has improved the experience, but we're going to keep the clawfoot tub here just because it's period correct and it's characterful. But when we finish out downstairs, the master bathroom, master bedroom, we will put in a nice big shower, nice big walk-in shower there. Okay, so this is our bedroom. This is what we've been living in for the time being until we can finish out the downstairs. We went with the green accent wall there, so we've got a little bit of a green theme going on. You can see the curtain there. We painted this. I'm not sure what shade of white this is, but it was that red, so we had to do quite a lot of priming to achieve, you know, an actual white color instead of red peeking through white. We changed out some of the hardware on here. We haven't actually touched the built-in at all because it was in good shape, so we're just going to leave it the way it is, update some of the hardware. Upstairs we haven't done anything yet, but we do have plans to frame upstairs and make it into a bit of an office. Okay. May not look like it, but what I've just shown you has taken a considerable amount of time. One of the things that has really taken a lot of time is just cleaning. This place wasn't cleaned for, must have been years. You know, gutters full of leaves that have turned to soil 2 inches thick. There was a ton of mouse, you know, droppings and all sorts of that, and dead mice and pee and things that we've been cleaning up. Let me just show you actually an example of what we've been cleaning. Here you go, this is a good example. I don't know if you can see, but this is discolored here. It's lighter than the surrounding parts. That's because it was a lot darker, and we put some hydrogen peroxide, there's another one, down to lighten up the pee stains from animals. So that was interesting. We also found out that this return register here had been used as a litter box for quite a while. We had the ductwork cleared out because we were just smelling, you know, not fresh air coming out the registers. And there's a return register in that hallway there, and he didn't get much out of that. But here, he said, you know, he went down in there, and it was one of the worst he's ever seen. The return from here to the furnace, which sits just below the kitchen there. So he had a really good cleaning there, inches of debris around the sides, and we went back in and steam cleaned it with some vinegar to try kill anything that was still living in there in terms of mold after the cleaning. So yeah, a lot of cleaning, then touching it up, just making all the surfaces, you know, feel and look nice. And we think we've got a pretty nice place to live now on the upstairs, on the main level, barring the kitchen. Kitchen we haven't touched yet, we've just been living with it. You know, we do have plans to fix it up, and I'll do this on another video, but just a sort of sneak peek on it. We've got the range will live here. We've got a 36-inch gas range that's going to go in there, and we've got a range hood that actually sits in the ceiling, so we'll have it below this window, and it will make sense in terms of venting. We do have some sagging floors. They sag down right to that register, and I'll show you what the reason for that is when we go downstairs. But I've got a plan to fix the sagging floors when we do the kitchen. We've got a new back door. No more screen door with some insulation on it. So we painted it up on the outside to match the rest of the trim, and I just want to show you how well this contractor matched the trim. So this is new, this is old. You know, it's not exact, they're 103 years apart, but it's pretty darn close. We're impressed. Yeah, really like it, really happy with that. The light pours in, makes this kitchen really nice and airy and bright. Another thing I've been working on slowly is bringing in some dirt and leveling out the soil here. You may remember, or you may not, there was a bunch of deck footings all up in here that made it look like, honestly, it looked like a bomb site, and just craters everywhere, completely uneven, a real, you know, ankle buster down there. So we've brought in about 5 yards of dirt and leveled it out. I have saved some. It's currently sat over there next to the shed. I've saved that for next year because when the snow compacts it, I'm going to have craters again, so I want to re-level it. That over there is just debris from raking. I struggled to get rid of it. I've been slowly cycling it out in the trash, but these trees have created a lot of debris over the years that they've not been maintained, so I'm slowly getting rid of that. We put a little bed in. We're hoping to get some vegetables out of that next year. That's pretty much it for outside. We haven't done much to it. Most of my time has been spent on the basement. I'll show you that now. So as soon as we moved it in, my wife started to complain about, having a scratchy throat and symptoms of mold basically in the house. So made it a priority to clear out down here as much as I can. And you're not even going to recognize this. This is just radically different from what it was. We did have a little pantry here. We had a whole room over there. Had another room here. All of that's gone. Which I'm glad I did, really. So we had overflow happening here, caused a lot of mold around this area. We had the toilet was dripping, and it was causing mold on the back of this wall here. So stripped all this out, and it's much better now. We've been doing mold tests down here and getting negative results, so much better in terms of air quality. We also found a lot of where the mice were coming in. I've got a video, and I'll show you that now, of what this looked like before. But you could just see daylight outside here. So the mice were just running in here, falling behind the wall, living there for a little while and dying. Some of them were getting out to the house, but that's how they were getting in. So I've sealed up some of that with some mortar that I bought. I bought the right type of mortar. I bought type S mortar here to use. And I'll slowly continue doing this on the inside as much as I can to try fill all these cracks, but I'm not going to be able to fill up many holes anymore because it's getting too cold. So I bought some big gap filler that'll last me a year before I can get some mortar in there. What else have we done? So yeah, you can see some evidence of the new PEX happening there. So we got this dehue in here. It's at 41% humidity right now down here. It was consistently at 50 or 60% before I filled all these holes. So, it's easy to see where the moisture and the mold was coming from. It was just these gaps in the window that I've sealed up. So another one here. This one was the worst. You could put your whole hand up and outside. And this was all framed in. So I would have never known unless I saw a little bit of mold and decided just to tear everything out. Had to get rid of the big concrete sink. I said it was cast iron last time. Turned out to be concrete, and I tried to change the faucet on it. I started wrenching on it and it just completely shattered, so I figured that's no longer salvageable. But I made sure I got a nice big tub. Plan is to wash the dog down here, so it's nice to have a big tub. Slowly been stripping out more of this. My plan is basically just to get rid of all of it, all of the framing that's down here. It's not structural, I made sure of that, and it's gross for the most part. It's covered in mold and it's decaying, and it wasn't installed right anyway. The base plate, the bottom plate or the base plate, whatever you call it, isn't secured to the slab properly, so it's just loose anyway. So where that range happens to just be directly below the gas line, so that's going to make life easy when we run the gas line for the new range. We put a reverse osmosis system in, and that's feeding just the refrigerator currently. I've seen enough evidence of lead pipes in this house that I don't want to drink from the kitchen faucet, so that's the reason for that. We are having some issues with the furnace. I know it's brand new, but the ductwork isn't, and it's rapidly, contracting when the heat cycle stops. So I need to figure out where that is, and shim it so it doesn't make any banging noises in the night. That's the beauty of living in the properties that you rent out. While you're fixing them, you work out all these kinks, and you give your future tenant a much better experience. But you know, you've got to suffer in the meantime, so it's not necessarily a zero-sum game. You may recall there was, you can actually see it on the ground here, there was a room here with plaster, so I've taken out all that plaster, and we've still got some stuff to take to the dump, but I've pulled out approximately 4 tons worth of debris from down here, and I've got the receipts to prove it from the dump, so I'm not exaggerating. About 4 tons of debris. We're just about done here, so we can start the demolition on the kitchen here soon. Okay, there's just a couple more things I wanted to add. I wanted to explain why this post jack is here, and the reason is that this joist needs sistering before I'm happy to take this off. The reason is that it's got quite a few issues with the notching. You can see that they hacked the majority of the strength of this joist away, presumably to make room for some plumbing at some point. So I'm just going to sister this before I let it take the full weight on its own, so I'm just helping along with the post jack for now. And also I wanted to show you the sagging floor, the reason for that, that's in the laundry room here. So at some point they came along and put some ductwork in, and they did that by completely just cutting a joist in half. So you can see the size of the gaps that are around there. The wood is just really not, yeah, there's a good example. So that's where the saggings come from. I'm going to sister the 2 joists either side of it, and we're going to sister that main one in the middle. If that doesn't correct it, I'll go 2 farther out. And then that should help with the situation there. We'll end up getting rid of this ductwork. It'll help clear up the headroom as you come in here. It'll also allow us to strengthen the floor. So I'm happy to make that compromise in terms of HVAC. There is a duct that feeds the kitchen. I believe it's that one or that one, so it's not like we're completely compromising the heating of the kitchen. So, yep, that's the plan there, and I'll let you know how that goes too. This is the the range hood. This is the one that goes in the ceiling. So that's going to be the next project, the kitchen. It's going to be a pretty major project, as you can imagine, so we're going to make sure that we've got enough meals to go at, you know, microwave meals and ready meals and things that we can prep cold, so that we're not having too much of a difficult time with it. But the beauty of it is we are living here and we don't have a real time frame to keep, so we can get it to a standard where we can cook and continue to finish it from there. It's not like it needs to be completely finished with a bow on top within a certain time frame. Well, that's it. I know this is a quick video to summarize 2 months worth of work, but you know, we have been working hard on this whilst maintaining 2 full-time jobs, so we think we've got a lot done. It certainly smells and feels a lot better in here than it did, so we're happy with the progress. Let me know what you think. Things we should have done differently, things we should do in the future. I'd love to hear them. Alright, until the next one. Thanks for watching.